Hey everyone, welcome to 3 Levels Deep, and welcome to 2023. It's a brand new year, and you know what that means. It's time to nominate the games of our year. And hopefully it's not going to be a sweep like everything else was. We all know what game I'm talking about.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. But yeah, 2022 was an interesting year. There were some highs and lows, but yeah, we all played a number of games, and we're gonna talk about some of our favorites. We have some different categories, like last year. This episode, we're gonna talk about, our favorite characters, the best dog, best sounds, and some other categories of our own choosing. And but to kick things off, we made some resolutions last year.
Yes.
My resolution is still 1920 by 1080.
Really? You don't got that 1440p going on?
I'll downscale 1440 to 1920 by 1080 sometimes.
Oh, jeez.
So poor man's anti-aliasing. Or should I say rich man's anti-aliasing, since it requires more hardware.
Now, see, I'm on that 1080 by 1920 life. Vertical monitors.
Ooh, I actually really want a vertical monitor, mostly just for reading text.
Well, maybe if I get it, maybe I can give you one of mine. They rotate. They're nice.
I don't know if I have room.
You gotta get some monitor arms.
If I set up a vertical monitor...
Actually, I have an extra monitor arm that I'm not using.
If I set up a vertical monitor, I'd probably play Karuga for the first time.
Yep.
See, wasn't that a console game?
Yeah.
So what are you gonna? Are you gonna rotate your TV? No. This game gets released on consoles. Are you rotating your TV?
It was released on the Dreamcast. Nobody cared.
Was the little tiny screen of the Dreamcast
The
vertical?
VMU?
Oh my god. Yeah. It's tiny little Ikaruga. Ikaruga Garden.
Ikaruga Garden.
All right, well, let's get back on track with our New Year's resolutions games, which some of us got off track and did not play all of them from the looks of things. So, I'll start. Me, Santo. I guess we didn't introduce ourselves.
We forgot to introduce ourselves.
You should know who we are.
Go listen to the other podcast episodes or something. I don't know.
We can't alienate all our new viewers who join us for the year-end recap.
I suppose you're right.
Okay, well, so Santo, that's me. I said I was going to play 2 games. One of them was Pyre, which I still haven't started. And the other one was Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action, which I did start. I haven't gotten too far in it, but I did start it. And I'm definitely going back to it. Because that game is pretty damn good right now.
Apparently there's a sequel coming out this year.
Yeah, there is a sequel.
That's pretty fantastic.
It's called...
Nirvana.
Yeah, Nirvana, but with weird spelling, of course.
Yeah, because it's a section of a cyberpunk city, of course.
I think it's a Paradise Beach themed.
Ooh.
Or something like that.
Yeah, but all I'll say about Valhalla is that it feels like they went as far out of their way as they could to write 3-dimensional characters, which is really good because it's a bartending game. The entire game is basically you listening to people's stories. So the fact that at least so far from what I've seen, they've got some really well done character writing. It's going to propel me forward, but it's a game that I kind of need to be in a certain headspace to play because things are a little grim and it goes places. There's some subjects that it's brought up. It's oof, that's ballsy for you to bring that up right now. But yeah, so next, Matt here.
Yeah, hello.
You had a few.
Yep.
So you also had Pyre.
Yeah. I also have Bastion.
You also had Bastion.
Yeah.
Now, you also had just Ace Attorney in general, which,
I played an Ace Attorney game. I did finally finish Apollo Justice.
There you go. You've talked about that a bit on earlier podcasts. And you also said Yakuza. Because you were replaying through a bunch of those and getting caught up and stuff.
Because I've played 0, 1, and 2. And okay, I started on 3.
Yes.
Actually, 3 was the first one I played after watching a Let's Play of 4. Mm-hmm. But now I've since played 0, 1, and 2, at least the remakes of 1 and 2. And at this point, I kind of want to just continue through in order, so I need to replay 3. It's more I want to replay 3. And then I want to...
You need to.
You must.
And then I want to play 4 for myself. So, because I've already played 3 and I've seen a Let's Play of 4, that's kind of a bit of a road bump.
Right.
It's just play it again, Mm-hmm. But once I'm past those, I'll probably just blow through the rest.
Yeah. Now, how are you going to fit the Judgment games into there?
I was thinking I'd play those after 6.
Right. Release order kind of thing.
Yeah, which is kind of what I'm doing with Ace Attorney as well. Yep. So next up will probably be Miles Edgeworth. Investigations.
That's a very good one.
I do also have the English patch for the sequel.
I still need to do that.
So you got to play Ace Attorney in chronological order and start with the newest
Great
game.
Ace Attorney.
Yeah. Go 100 years into the past. More than that.
Where does Professor Layton fit in there?
Okay, wait.
I think it's before. Yes, it's definitely before Apollo Justice. So it's probably in between 3 and Apollo Justice, if I had to guess.
But wait, that means you need to start with Case 1 of Ace Attorney 3.
Yeah, if you're... Yeah, you...
Case by case chronological order. Let's go.
You gotta do that before Ace Attorney 1, yeah. All right, and now Alex... So let's start with the ones you did play. You said Outer Wilds, which you've played.
I said Outer Wilds. I've played Outer Wilds. I've basically beaten Outer Wilds. I kind of got stuck a little bit on this one completely annoying part, and then I got busy with classes.
And then it left Game Pass.
And then it left Game Pass. I bought it on Steam and got the DLC as well on the holiday sale.
See, the nice thing about Outer Wilds, though, is even if you can't import your progress from the Game Pass version, the nice thing about Outer Wilds is all your progress is up in your head.
Yeah, I mean, strictly speaking, if you knew everything, you could probably beat the game, very quick.
There is an achievement for beating the game in one run.
Yeah, but that's... wait, how are you supposed to get that? Just by resetting your save, deleting it?
Yeah, new save.
That's funny. But yeah, it's... technically, I think I've unlocked all of the story, and I understand what the final puzzle is. I just need to complete the final puzzle in time. Without...
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm basically done. Mm-hmm. In theory, I only need to play the game one more run, and then I beat it.
This just has to be a good run.
Yeah.
So you also played through It Takes Two, which was one of yours.
I did. Oh yeah, that was on New Year's resolution. Okay, yes. Yeah, I played that. I beat that. It's a good game. Yeah. I liked it. We had a podcast on that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll come up later in these awards. Who knows?
Yeah. So wait, was that this year?
It was this year. It's the New Year's resolution games. Yes, you played it this year.
Dear God, I thought that was last year for some reason.
Oh God, we're gonna...
Or the year before.
It came out last year, and that took Game of the Year at the Game Awards.
But you played it this year.
But I played it this year. All right.
Okay, clearly I need to make the podcast show note descriptions more descriptive, so that we can refer to them again at the end of the year. What the fuck did we even play? So I'm pretty sure you completely forgot that this was one of your New Year's resolution games, Alex. But what about Deathloop?
Oh, totally blanked on Deathloop.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I think actually I had a note from last year about Deathloop, and I was looking at it when I was preparing for this podcast, and I literally thought to myself, what the hell is Deathloop doing on this list? Why do I have Deathloop in my notes from last year?
That was one of your New Year's resolution games.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, so that I guess the old out of the way. So let's start bringing in the new. So I've got a few. The first one is Pyre. Again.
Very good.
Because, God damn it, there's there's no reason why I haven't played that game yet, except for just being lazy and other things catching my eye. The other thing that I want to get around to is that so one of the things that happened this year was the 3DS shop pseudo closing, where they you can't pay with a credit card directly on the console anymore. I don't remember what the state it's in right now is, if you can still buy shit.
The state right now, I believe, is to load funds via the Switch.
Right.
And if your account's linked, the funds will then be on your 3DS or Wii U.
Yeah. So one of the things that happened is that there was an Atlas sale, so I bought a ton of Shin Megami Tensei games.
Yeah, I bought a bunch there too.
Yeah, I think we cleaned them out.
If there's anything I missed that I absolutely want to play, I did mod my 3DS this year.
There you go. But I don't want to play any of those. I want to play Persona 1 and 2.
Okay.
Because I want to be a Persona hipster. Because, I think a lot of people are way more familiar with, 3 onwards.
Yeah.
Because of the, how they changed it. And
Persona starts at 3.
Yeah. So I want to be able to be a super elitist about that. So I want to play those. And I'm kind of interested in them too, because they're, high school kid kind of stuff, but they're definitely more in the Shin Megami Tensei tone, let's say. So that'll be interesting to see. And the last one is a game that was actually released fairly recently that I haven't picked up yet, but I'm planning to. Marvel's Midnight Suns. That is the Firaxis developed Marvel pseudo tactical, not quite XCOM kind of game.
Is that what that game is?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Firaxis has been doing pretty good work. We're playing our Let's Play of XCOM Chimera Squad. I've been enjoying that so far a fair amount. So, Firaxis usually doesn't miss, apart from, technical problems. This is the only thing, but in terms of game design, they're pretty good.
I've been watching that last play, and I'm still weirded out by the fact that you couldn't see the ready text over Parsec for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't
know what was going on with that. That's insane to me, because it's just a video stream.
Also, there was one thing I pointed out to you guys afterwards when I was watching an episode, is that there was a bus stop along a street that was facing away from the street.
Yeah, well,
That's weird.
Quality level design.
All right, but no, and apparently there's in Marvel Midnight Suns, there's off mission getting to know the people. So I want a social link with Wolverine. Okay, that seems like a good plan. So yeah, those are my New Year's resolution games.
All right, well, mine remain relatively unchanged. I want to play more Ace Attorney. At least knock out 1 or 2 more games. Same with Yakuza. But there's another series I'm adding to the list now, and that's Resident Evil. Because I started playing those games this year, and for being someone who was completely just done with the zombie genre of games, I don't know what it is about Resident Evil, but I've just been loving them. And I think it also helps that it was my introduction to survival horror, because I'd never played anything of the genre before, and I've just been absolutely loving it. So, yeah, I want to knock out more of the Resident Evil games. But aside from that, I've got another goal. Well, I'm setting a deadline on this one.
Ooh.
I want to play Bastion, Pyre, and finish Hades before Hades 2 enters full release.
Okay. Now, I forget how long the first Hades was in early access, but it was in there for a while, so I think that's very doable.
Yeah. Especially as I hear Bastion's on the shorter side.
Yes, I played through it in one sitting. It took me 6 hours.
Okay. And longer if you want to go for full completion, but a simple playthrough will be
I'm going to be honest, I don't Bastion's one of those games where I don't think full completion is really... It's not something I care about, personally. And
the full completion is really just the challenge rooms, honestly.
Okay.
And some of those are kind of a pain in the ass. So
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because I did go full completion in Transistor because that game was just great.
Transistor is, I think, more interesting to do a full completion run.
Yeah.
yeah, like the extra stuff on like the little beach area, the challenge rooms and stuff. Those were a lot better done.
Yeah, the challenge rooms in the beach area were definitely much nicer in Transistor.
And just how much you can play around with the tools given to you to see what the hell you can do.
And unlocking all of the story bits from experimenting with all the various
Weapons.
Yeah,
perks and stuff.
Very cool. Very good method. More devs should steal that idea.
Yep.
Frankly. Yeah. So for me,
Oh, hold on. I have one more thing it's not a game, but I want to cut back on buying games unless I have the intention of playing them right away, because I've bought too many games that just sit in the backlog. I have already kind of broken that one a little bit, but I wanted to grab a couple things on the... because I just got a Meta Quest 2.
Oh, God, yeah.
oh god,
And I wanted to grab a couple things to have in my library to play before their holiday sale ended.
All right, Alex.
yeah. Actually, on that note, VR. There's a VR game I really want to play. It's called Rumble, and it's basically earthbending from like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That sounds
in VR.
interesting.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And I have an Oculus Quest, which is not able to play the game on its own.
Oh,
Now, I probably can play the game on either my laptop or, there is a gaming computer in my house that April has. So I'm sure one of them can do it. It's just a matter of getting it set up. And
Yeah.
like getting streaming from your gaming computer to an Oculus Quest is, I'm not going to lie, it's a nightmare. I've already spent many hours over like a couple of days attempting to set it up. And I've just been there's so many things you need to do. And at one point, get this. Okay, so the Oculus had been linked to an app on April's phone because it's April was the one who got it. So she had the Quest linked to her phone and set up on this app, and that has an authentication for the Quest, and it's a pattern lock. So the pattern lock used to be a 3x3 grid that you draw a pattern into. Fairly typical. The pattern lock is now not a 3x3 grid. Now it's sort of a hexagonal shape that's stretched to look like an eye, but a hexagon only has 6 points, not 9 points. So the pattern doesn't, but the pattern was never updated.
Oh, God.
It never asked to update the pattern. And when I tried to set up an account, and it used to be that the Quest only had one single user account, they finally added the ability to add a second user account to a Quest, which is a great... I don't know why that wasn't there from day one, personally. But because I tried to set up a second account and then connect the Quest to my computer using that account, the whole system just locked up because it needed to authenticate things. And it's stuck in this limbo where it can't be unlocked and the Quest can't be used because the pattern lock on a phone app that was linked to the headset had the actual pattern geometry that you draw a pattern into changed, which is just, it's such a bad, and that's in addition to having to install 3 pieces of software on your computer.
Yeah.
That are all a huge pain in the ass. And you can't log in, you can't create a Meta account anymore. Except you can, except it's secretly a Facebook account, except it's secretly not a Facebook account. It's a nightmare. I absolutely hate what Meta, Facebook, Oculus has done, because there were Meta-specific accounts and Facebook-specific accounts and Oculus-specific accounts. At one point, these were all distinct accounts, but they're secretly linked in a backend, except they're not.
Oh god.
And it's a complete nightmare trying to like get this stupid thing working now, because all of this account bullshit just means that we're locked out of things. And I'm sure that I could spend, a full day trying to debug logging into the headset, but that's a total pain. And it's insane to me how bad it is. Like, it's the worst login experience I have ever had, I think. I've never failed to log into an account over several days of trying. First of all, I've never even had to try multiple days. Like, it's bad when it's like, oh yeah, I spent 4 hours on this, couldn't log in, and gave up.
That's abysmal.
And tried another day. Like, so I really want to try Rumble, though. The game looks really cool. I just need to get my Quest somehow able to stream footage to.
I don't know if this is just a Quest 1 problem, because I connected my Quest 2 in like 5 minutes over Wi-Fi.
Yeah, well, wait till they change the pattern on you.
Yeah,
I didn't have to do.
Yeah, so part of the problem is that it was set up a while ago, and then there's been updates.
The account system update is what fucked it.
Yes, the account system itself has had backend updates that it cannot deal with if your account is older, which is, frankly, it's a nightmare. And I can't believe they did that. Anyway, moving on. Yes, Rumble VR game looks cool. Want to try it out. I kind of want to play Dwarf Fortress. I want to play the new GUI Dwarf Fortress. I haven't so far because I've been hesitant. I know I'm gonna get sucked in and spend way too much time on it.
Yeah, same.
And I need to play it though. Like, I can't not. But we'll get to it.
Yeah,
I'll get to it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and then one last New Year's resolution game, or perhaps games in a sense, is that I want to replay some Homeworld games. Definitely I want to play Homeworld 1 and 2 again.
With 3 dropping this year?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that, and yeah, we'll get to that a bit later in probably next episode.
Yes.
Because we're splitting our game of our year across 2 episodes this year. But yeah, one of my anticipated games is Homeworld 3, and yeah, I need to replay Homeworld and Homeworld 2 for sure. I don't know about like Homeworld Cataclysm. That game was like, it was okay, and it's more of a side story. And I played Deserts of Karak more recently, and it's kind of a weird prequel thing anyway, so I don't feel the need to replay that one. But definitely 1 and 2 I want to replay before Homeworld 3 drops sometime this year. So yeah, that's my resolution games.
Yeah, and we'll see if any of us actually stick to that by the time next year rolls around. Okay, so the next category we have is a returning one. A lot of these are returning categories. Most game. Now,
yeah, so my nomination for most game, or maybe you want to explain most game.
So, most game, it's not super well defined, but just the game that's the most game. Whether that be like most amount of content, just most transparently like a game that's just, mechanics, however you want to define it. But I think me and Alex might have the same one here, even though it's kind of a cheat. Dwarf Fortress?
Yeah, so Dwarf Fortress is most game. And it's simple. See, I haven't played the new release of Dwarf Fortress, but I have played a lot of Dwarf Fortress. And it is the most technically complex game in terms of the mechanics behind the scenes, and it's basically a simulation. It's basically a fantasy world simulation. Like, it's insane. So it's the most complex, but it's got the most mechanics, and you can spend unlimited amounts of time with that. And I've probably spent hundreds of hours at least.
Yeah.
Like, I back in the day, there was a tutorial series by Captain Duck, which was like the premium Dwarf Fortress tutorial series for how to learn the basics, and it was a 70-hour YouTube series.
Oh.
So I heard a description recent. Like, I wasn't entirely sure what Dwarf Fortress is, and then I I heard a pretty good just explanation of what it actually is, and it's just a more technical Animal Crossing.
I would not say that it's a more technical Animal Crossing, but it is a fantasy world simulation in which you are basically doing a management sim of a. It's analogous kind of to a colony or city in some other games. Mm-hmm. There's another game. I think it's Stellaris, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
or is that a different game?
No.
Stellaris is a 4X game.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different game. Anyway, there's another game that's like
Rimworld?
Basically RimWorld. That's the one. Yeah, RimWorld is very much an easier sort of take on the concept, simpler take on the concept. But anyway, I don't even need to play Dwarf Fortress to know. Yeah, most game for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that it literally dwarfs everything else. Because like my other one would have been Vampire Survivors, because that is a game where it's just mechanics laid bare and has a very very good progression system to it, where you're just unlocking more and more things. It has so many characters to unlock, weapons to unlock, secrets to find. Like there's a lot there for how like very simple the actual gameplay is. But yeah, I have to pick Dwarf Fortress 2.
I feel like I'm going to end up siding with you guys, but I still got to talk about my nomination. Mm-hmm. And it's probably the only time you're going to see it brought up as a nomination on this list. Elden Ring.
Oh.
It is the most game.
Okay.
That's a lot of game.
There is a lot of game.
That's a lot of game. Yeah, it is a lot of game.
There's a lot of variety in like the weapons you can use. There's a lot of optional stuff. It's just my first playthrough I think took me 140 hours, maybe more.
Yeah.
And I started a second playthrough and then I stopped myself because I wouldn't have time for anything else. So I stopped playing Elden Ring and I played Bloodborne again instead.
Okay, well,
okay.
I mean,
which I got through in a fraction of the time it would have taken me to beat Elden Ring.
I mean, yeah, like it's a ton of game, and you're not the first person I've heard that's like once they finish it, they want to play more, but they're scared.
Yeah.
Whereas,
I think other Maximus, he was saying that he was about to start playing Elden Ring for a second playthrough, and then he's like, wait, no, I'm going to play Dark Souls 3.
Yep.
God damn it. That's not solving the problem. All right, but I respect Elden Ring as a pick, but I still have to lean Dwarf Fortress here.
I'm going with Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah, Dwarf Fortress is the most game.
One of the updates on the Steam page where they were talking about what if the game was going to go on sale, they're like, probably not, because we plan to support this game for another 30 years. Okay? Yeah. And it's already been being developed for over 10, right? Like, it's...
I can't wait for Dwarf Fortress Definitive Edition in the 2050s.
No, not Dwarf Fortress.
No, it's just going to be Dwarf Fortress version, like, 137.
Yeah. They're already on version 50 point something.
But yeah, and then, the other thing, I haven't actually played Dwarf Fortress, but I have been seeing so many stories of people, like, playing Dwarf Fortress again, or for the first time, or whatever, and it's always hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
All right, so Dwarf Fortress is going to be most game for the 2022 GooYs. That's our first actual category out of the way.
Yep.
So let's get to best character.
So I found this one a bit tough, just because I haven't really played as many like character-driven games this year. Although I realized that I forgot about It Takes Two, amusingly enough. And actually, now that I'm remembering that, it's the book from It Takes Two, the relationship, the Spanish relationship book. Oh man, what was his name again?
Grimuardo?
No,
That's what I would have named him.
Grimuardo, yeah.
This 2 years in a row, a book has been nominated for Best Character.
Listen, Best Character surrounds a lot of different things, alright? Who could ever forget the 2007 GameFAQs Award for Best Character being won by the L Block from Tetris?
Oh, yeah. Dr. Hakim. That was his name. The Book of Love. Extremely Spanish. Very innuendo-laden. He was a funny character.
Okay. In stark contrast, I played so many character-driven games that it was pretty tough for me. Like, I played like Triangle Strategy, Caligula Effect, Eye of the Somnium Files. Heck, Chimera Squad is character-driven because there's defined characters now.
It's true.
Valhalla. But of all those games, I think I still had to go with the one, the only, Herlock Sholmes from Great Earth's Attorney Chronicles. Because, I mean, you all know the Ace Attorney games. They have such a great writing. They have such a great characters, and Herlock Sholmes is no exception. He was the best character in that game. He perfectly blended complete incompetence with, like, shocking brilliance. Where, like, at times he was, the biggest comic relief character in the room. But at other times he was actually, like, deducing things properly and providing, like, crazy way too advanced for the time gadgets for you to play with to try and solve the crime. He's responsible for the most, like, unrealistic thing to happen in an Ace Attorney game, and you know how big of a spectrum that that crosses.
There's a lot of very unrealistic things. It's true.
Yeah. So, like, he was an absolute delight that entire game, even when he got into an extremely depressed state once, and was just talking about how life was extremely grim. Just a complete comedic force throughout. And it's Herlock Sholmes. That's so stupid.
It's pretty funny.
Like, there's another character in that game that is based off of a real historical person, but they didn't have to deal with the Sir Conan Arthur Doyle estate to get their proper name in.
All right. So for me, it's actually someone Santo and I talked about in the last episode.
Oh, yeah?
It's Larry from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Oh my god.
Oh, Larry's the best. He's the best gym leader. He really
do you know about Larry, Alex?
Maybe? Was he? Which one was he?
Larry is the normal type gym leader he's just your average run-of-the-mill Japanese businessman. He's just doing the job to pull down a paycheck. And not only that, but he has a second job as a member of the Elite Four.
It's so good when he pops up in the Elite Four.
That's kind of funny. Yeah.
And because of the league rules, he has to use a different type when he's in the Elite Four. Yep. But it's strictly business for him.
It's just business.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he has like a fairly like kind of meek personality. But that's just who he is, man. He's normal. Yeah, damn. Well, you're pulling on my heartstrings by nominating Larry here. I wish I actually had seen more gameplay of It Takes Two to know a bit more about Dr. Hakim.
I mean,
and his
we got some quotes here. It's like, what else besides love makes couples stay together? Mortgage? Kids? No, it's the attraction, of course. It pulls people together. See, attraction is like a magnet. You need both poles for it to work. I should note that this is like something he says during the section of the game where you get magnet powers. But you need both poles for it to work. North, south, plus, minus, you, me. What if I told you that magnetic powers could help rediscover a lost attraction? Oh yeah, let the magnets warm you up, baby.
So Magneto was just searching for love the entire time?
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Okay.
I mean, let me just process that line through a Spanish accent.
Very Spanish.
All right, I'm liking it.
Just switch Buzz Lightyear to Spanish mode.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I mean, yeah, that has to be where they got the inspiration for that one.
I mean, also just the Spanish lover.
Yeah.
Dr. Hakim, worldwide bestseller and an expert on love. You
He's very enthusiastic.
Always learn something new. Aha! You know, collaboration is the key to a successful relationship.
Like he's just gyrating.
Yeah, I don't like how the base of his book is just like gyrating.
Oh, I like that. Storytelling through animation, baby.
Yeah, it's played up for laughs pretty hard. Mm-hmm. Both characters are very upset at Dr. Hakim.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to get this stuff this fast.
Yeah, I mean, part of the problem is, like, I'm not super familiar with Sherlock Holmes or Larry too much.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunately how it's going to be for a lot of these games. Is
Yeah.
that, like, we kind of have some different tastes, so we play different stuff, nominate different things. But that's what makes it so fun.
I think I kind of want to vote for Sherlock Holmes just on the name alone.
It's a good name.
It's a good way to get around the. Which I think at the start of this year, the last of Sir Conan Arthur Doyle's work, Sherlock Holmes' works, entered the public domain.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
About
Sherlock
time.
Holmes, best named new character.
Yeah, new character, totally original.
Yeah,
Do not steal.
Do not steal. Yeah.
I mean, it's my nomination, so I kind of want to go for Sherlock Holmes too.
I like
like-
Sherlock Holmes.
All right, sounds like Sherlock Holmes wins.
All right.
Also, I have heard a bit about some of his lines, and it just seems like a funny character.
I pulled up. I got some screenshots on my Switch. I can pull those out to solidify it. But
All the more reason for me to get to a Great Ace Attorney.
yes, it's a slow game, but it's a good game once it gets going. All right. So now the next category, which honestly this could have been a category where best character also could have won this category. It's best dog.
Yeah.
Dogs are also characters. Now, the one I have to nominate, I'm a bit worried. I hope, Matt, you didn't also nominate this one. But
I doubt it.
I'm going to nominate Doxbun, the bread
okay.
Pokemon. The bread dog.
yeah.
The bread dog?
The
Oh,
evol-
that stupid
the-
bread dog?
The evolved bread dog.
Okay, evolved bread dog. The bread dog is ridiculous, so it's a good nomination.
It was I didn't nominate I was tempted to nominate Arvin's what's the name of it?
Mabostiff?
The Mabostiff, yeah. I was tempted.
Yeah, good dogs.
Now that I think about Bread Dog is definitely a
Yeah.
better dog.
Doxbun, its stats aren't amazing because it is more of like an earlier game, Pokemon Evolution, but it's got decent speed, pretty good defense, okay special defense, attack, so it gets the job done. It could be a reliable part of your team.
And
But
it's rations in an emergency.
yes, it's got a unique ability, well-baked body, where if it gets hit by a fire attack, it takes no damage and instead gets its defense raised. So it's got some flavorful ability there.
But
Very flavorful.
But can it get burned?
Probably. It could probably still get burned.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I would hope so.
I don't know.
Will-o-wisp.
Scald.
Scald, yeah.
Oh god, soggy burnt bread. But yeah, and it's just such a fun little concept, and it looks like super cute too.
Yeah.
It's got a little like hot cross bun kind of ears.
It's
It's a
definitely
very good boy.
It's definitely one of the designs I end up liking.
Mhm.
But yeah, my nomination is actually Cosmo the Space Dog from Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I didn't know there was a dog in that game.
Yeah, it's a Russian cosmonaut dog that speaks with a Russian accent
Oh my god.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is
while
great.
wearing a space. It has a spacesuit, and it's the head of security in Nowhere. the giant floating celestial head.
That's funny.
It's psychic.
God, that's pretty awesome.
Just got to throw some other stuff on there,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So my nomination is Riker the Wolf Cub, which is from Children of Morta, and he's just like a little. So he starts out as like kind of a side quest because you find this injured wolf cub who's been separated from its family in the dungeon. And then you got to like go find some herbs and stuff because grandma's like, we can save the dog. We just need these weird herbs, strange mushrooms, and something else. And you have to like go find them. But then once you save him, he like, just kind of roams around your little house between missions. But then also before every boss, he just comes out and gives you a health restore.
Oh, good dog.
Like just before the boss. So if you get him early, it's actually really good because that health can be the difference between it can make or break a boss fight.
Reminds me of the fox in Persona 4
Oh, yeah.
that you could just go to and pay it to heal your SP.
Yep. Yeah. But also, look at this little guy.
That's a good boy.
Let's see a little picture. Oh, he's wagging his tail. That's a good boy right there. And let's get that name again.
Oh, Riker with a Y.
Riker. Awesome. Characters named Riker. Pretty good characters.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Even though only one of these can win the category, I think we can all agree these are all good boys.
All good boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like this. I like the silly bread dog.
Yeah.
You like Silly Bread Dog?
Silly
Bread
bread dog. Yeah.
I like that too. I mean, obviously it was my nomination, but that's also kind of close for me, though. I think both of your nominations are quite good too. Oh yeah, Google Docs wants me to autocorrect this to Dachshund, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
It's Dachshund.
Dash bun clearly incorrect according to Google.
Very nice bread dog. Okay, so the next category we got going on here is best sounds. Now, this is, we had best music last year. This is mostly best music, but, if either of us think that a game had a particularly good sound design or just like some individual track that we just loved, like this is the spot for it. What were some waveforms that we liked, that we grooved to this year?
Yes. I mean, one game that I liked a wide variety of waveforms in was Mechanicus, which is a Warhammer 40k turn-based strategy game with a soundtrack so good that I actually listened to the soundtrack for quite a while before even buying the game.
Man, you're making me like sad now because whenever I watch you stream it on Discord, I always watch with the volume off.
Yeah. Oh, the game actually has it's got a killer soundtrack, which I definitely like. It's got it's like dark, gritty techno church organ.
Yep. All right.
It's really cool. It's pretty different, and I like it a lot. But also the game itself has a lot of just sort of like kind of ambient, atmospheric sounds going on in certain menus and sometimes in the missions and stuff. Like it's not just playing the music all the time. It just does a really good job with these sort of harsh kind of like ambient sounds and like kind of these industrial kind of sounds and things like that, which obviously fits the 40k Mechanicus aesthetic like really well. And it's like Mechanicus versus Necrons in a Necron tomb, which is supposed to be sort of just like this like horrific and scary and it works well for the atmosphere of the game.
Did the music sound very green? Because that's a very green game.
The game is extremely green.
Are like, is it? You mentioned like organs, or no?
It's got got some killer organ.
Maybe they're like old copper organs.
Oh yeah,
that have turned green.
Okay, yeah. The organ has copper oxide on it.
Yeah,
turned green.
I mean that's weird because Necrons don't really have organs. The robots.
What do you think the green part is? Hey, flayed ones exist.
Okay, fine. The flayed ones have other people's organs.
I feel like I need to learn more about 40k aside from Space Marines are rad, and red makes orc vehicles go faster.
The best rule is that they removed.
Oh, they removed that?
Yeah. They made the games... They wanted to make the game simpler and take out some of these just like needlessly complex rules.
Damn.
Like orcs going faster. But whatever. If I'm playing a game with an orcs player, a 40k game,
allow it?
I will totally allow that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's only half an inch. It never makes a difference.
Yeah. I don't know if we wanted to put a track on if we're doing that.
We can if you know where you can find a track.
Yeah, it's just on Spotify.
My computer. Okay.
Spotify.
All right. Let's no. We don't necessarily need to listen. Well, I can nominate some Phil Collins. I'm sure there was a Tarzan game that had a soundtrack in it.
Oh man, there was a Tarzan game on the N64 that I played. Honestly, it wasn't very good. So probably just start off with like Children of the Omnissiah at the top there. That one and Noosphere are probably the two of my favorite tracks. Get this like just like this slow organs.
Got the build.
Good build up, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is like the first track on the album. Of course, it's going to have build. Also, I'm just looking at the play count. This one has 10 million plays. Everything else barely cracked a million.
The next highest is 2.3.
Yeah. Yeah. And to be fair, this track and Noosphere are probably like the best two tracks, at least for listening outside of the game. Some of these are more like ambient tracks.
Yeah. I mean, for a lot of soundtracks, I expect the first one to have the most plays, but not by this margin.
Yeah. And I love the way that the organ's just going in the background, too, here.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Well, I want to get negative, but it's not necessarily the kind of music I'm into listening to outside of a game.
It's fair.
But it's very. I'll say this: it fits. It fits very well.
Yeah, it fits really well
as tone. All right, you said Noosphere.
Noosphere's pretty good too. Yeah, throw that one on.
Okay, this one's 6 minutes long.
We can skip around a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe go to like the 2-minute mark. Yeah. It's got that organ just...
Oh yeah,
building.
that's some organ right there. That's specifically church organ style too.
Oh yeah.
It's not trying to be like synth organ. Okay, let's get a bit more. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we got chanting.
Yeah. Come on, you gotta have that like Latin chant from the fucking Adeptus Mechanicus.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty representative of the soundtrack that's like more musical, and other parts of it are a lot more just like ambient.
Okay. All right. So pretty good.
Yeah, like I really like the sound effects in the game too, but obviously that's not on the soundtrack.
Oh man, you're telling me this 2 doesn't have like 130 2-second tracks?
No.
Hey, look. I think the Super Mario like All Stars collection.
Oh yeah.
That came with a soundtrack CD that also had sound effects on it.
Wow.
So you could have uncompressed, like high bit rate coin sound.
I've got that.
Oh.
I've got that CD.
Yeah, that's a good sound to have.
Rip those.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta have that like full wave coin sound.
All right. So my nomination is actually an individual track because sadly I didn't play any games that have the M1 grand ping sound. And you can actually conveniently find my nomination right there on the right in friend activity.
Oh, great. I had a feeling. I saw you listening to this. I'm like, oh, God, I know he's going to nominate this, isn't he?
So this is the Airbuster remake version of the song from Final Fantasy VII Remake. And this has become my go-to song when I need something to hype me up.
Yeah. Like,
And
remix of those who fight from the original.
so, like,
Sorry.
as you can hear, it keeps the original melody. But what I love is, like, despite being like 7.5 minutes, it keeps the melody, but it's also varying it up throughout the song. Like, soon you'll even get to like a chanting choir thrown in here as well. And I just absolutely love this track. It just blows the rest of the soundtrack out of the water for me. And if you want to fast forward a bit, because it is 7.5 minutes,
Yeah.
I'd recommend go to about 3:45.
That's about 240. I'm working on Spotify here. I can't exactly see, so.
That's good enough.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I love the electric guitar in this song too. It's just, I love this version.
I'd ask if there's a good Cosmo Canyon or Genova song on this soundtrack.
I don't think they got
but
there
I
yet.
don't think they got that far in the game.
I think there is a Genova track actually,
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the Genova track, but
but you can hear the choir chanting
yeah.
now too.
yeah, I've kept myself blissfully ignorant of the remix music so far. Yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah, it makes the fight the fight's great as well, but this track just really helps to elevate it further.
Which fight is this?
The Airbuster.
Okay.
I think I remember that boss from the original. It's the one where you're in the like second Mako reactor
Yeah,
at the end of that. Yeah, okay. And then
they've got
bridge gets blown up, and then Cloud goes to the church where he meets Eris. Yeah.
Yep. And then, you've got a little bit of slowdown here now, and it's starting to build up again.
It's funny because it's like, yeah, I actually played that part of the game. I don't remember the track very well though.
Yeah, so this is my nomination.
Oh, yeah. Suppose this isn't a remake of Those Who Fight. Those Who Fight was the name of the original battle music. This is a remix of the standard boss theme from the original Final Fantasy VII. God, I'm messing up here. How can I be a Final Fantasy fan? Alright. Yeah.
I think we get the gist here.
More chanting, yeah. Alright. So... And so, like, what was your feeling on, like, the rest of the music in the game?
Oh, it's good. It's like if you like that track, I'm sure you'll like the rest of the soundtrack too. But because they have the original composer on it, and some other people helping out as well. But
Well, listen, Nobuo Uematsu is the greatest video game composer ever. He's made some bad songs in this time, though.
But no, the rest of the soundtrack's great as well. That one just stands above the rest for me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, sadly, on that the soundtrack on Spotify, Hip Hop de Chocobo is not on there.
That's a shame. Gotta have the Chocobo theme. It's a classic.
The game has so many variations of the Chocobo theme.
Yep.
But Hip Hop de Chocobo is probably my favorite.
Nice. Okay, so
Like that big hand crack.
Caligula Effect 2. That is my nomination because we fucked up last year. Listen, okay. I know when talking about this, I kind of was a little bit more sour on it compared to the first game, and I will admit, the first game is a better soundtrack than this one, but whereas the first one had a larger breadth of songs that I loved, this one had a less amount of songs that I loved even more. Like, 3 of the songs from this soundtrack made it onto my Spotify top 5 played for the year. I listened to this a lot. So, and I've mentioned this many times about how this game deals with this music, where it's an instrumental track in most areas, and that layers on vocals into the fighting parts, and then the boss fights get an individual remix of it. So I am going to play... Unfortunately, this means I'm going to have to play 2 songs because I want to play one in the remix version, but it'll be pretty quick, I hope. So this is just like the kind of walking around music. And what I love about this song in particular is that kind of the entire point of the music that's playing throughout the areas in this game is that it's supposed to be like kind of hypnotism / brainwashing the general populace into complacency. And so this song in particular has like this, you heard it in the beginning there, this like, kind of like sighing, like beat to it. And it makes a lot of use of repetitive vocals to make it sound like it is actually trying to brainwash the general public. So this is one of the best examples of the songs here, but the remix is where it gets crazier. Now, one of the very good things about this is that when you hear a lot of remixes of songs, they're kind of working with, you know, what they had, but it's usually a different artist doing it. The remix of this, the people had access to everything, the stems for everything, so that that starting verse there is completely unique to the remix version. They were able to record a more intense version of it for that. And then you have all this super repetitive vocal stuff again. This is actually the final boss theme.
Oh.
I was actually kind of thinking there while you were talking that I would love a game where just your general just going around music becomes the final boss
Yeah,
theme,
this one did it, yeah. And I actually did mess up. The first one I played was a different vocalist because there's so many versions of all the tracks on this goddamn CD. Like, this soundtrack has 4 CDs, 3 of them are just 2 different vocalists and then the remix versions. And then you have all the instrumental stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Sounds like this gonna brainwash you. It's just sighing and repetitive music, so... And then it, you know, gets super hyped for the end of it. Yeah, this is the music that hyped me up the most this year, and absolutely loved it. And I'm making up for the sins of the past year, where I cannot believe Sonic beat out frickin' that last year. Listening to that podcast, editing it, I was like, you know what? I should have stood my ground. But so yeah, I'm salty about that, and so I have to do it again. I'm not sure how we're gonna pick though. Is the problem here? Because I want to stand my ground pretty hard for my pick, but you can obviously outvote me.
Yeah, I mean, personally, it's just not...
It's not the kind of music you listen to,
It's
right?
not the kind of music I listen to. Like, it's a cool idea, though, right? With having sort of, you know, the instrumental, layering in the vocals and things like that, and then kind of remixing it for the boss. Like, that's a cool idea for a game, to do that with the music.
And I will also bring up that the visuals in battle, there's also a music video in the background that's synced up to the song while it's playing, and as well as other visual elements synced up to the music. So if we have to, you know, kind of poke that sound design part of this category again, it also, you know, does things with the visuals that enhance it as well and makes the extremely repetitive random encounters less repetitive.
I'm liking everything you're saying about Collision.
All right. It's happening.
But it is also the kind of music I can listen to. So I feel like I'm the swing vote here.
You're Florida. How does it feel?
So you guys pretty settled on your nominations?
I don't know. I was kind of tempted to go Final Fantasy VII, to be honest.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. Ooh.
You want to knock me down.
That's tough. I am the swing vote.
Yeah. For me, like
I can go for Caligula effect, but FF7, but the Airbuster is my my hype song for this year.
yeah. Problem is, like, if you put on more of the Final Fantasy VII Remake soundtrack, I'd probably just, like, get really against it just because of nostalgia. Like, can that overcome nostalgia? We'll see once I finally play that game.
Well, see, the other problem is, like, if I was voting for the soundtrack on the whole, I'm pretty sure, like, most of the songs that I actually like the most from Final Fantasy VII are from later in the game.
Maybe. I don't know what songs you like.
Well,
obviously,
Cosmic Canyon.
Cosmic
Great.
Canyon, obviously.
You know, Genova. Great.
Yeah.
Obviously, fucking at the final battle,
One Winged Angel.
the One-Winged Angel, like, that's a banger. That's not there.
But there's some amazing songs in the opening of this game. Like, opening bombing mission's incredible. The main theme's
oh, yeah.
incredible. All,
Actually,
all the
forgot-
battle themes of the game is
I forgot about
great.
opening. Yeah, I forgot about opening bombing mission. That one's really good too.
And a lot of the Midgar music in the original is also great. The Turks theme as well. But again, this is stuff I haven't listened to for the
Yeah.
remake version.
I think I'm gonna have to stick with FF7.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Okay, yeah, well, all right. Robbed again.
We're voting FF7. Hey, you just talked up opening bombing mission, man.
Well, it depends. If the opening bombing mission remake remix that's in Smash Bros. Is the same one that's in FF7 remake, and we're picking this, then that's going to be a mistake. But
I'm
whatever.
pretty sure none of those ones in Smash are the FF7 remake versions.
Okay, good, because I don't like all the remixes that are in Smash. They do the thing that, you know, Smash Ultimate did with a lot of remixes, where they just went too hard in like a metal direction. Like, it's just too much going on.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the Castlevania remixes suffer from that. In that
Yeah,
game
which is
too.
an absolute travesty because Castlevania has
of the
such a
greatest
great
music.
library of music, and they managed to like screw it up mostly.
I can't recall. How's the Smash version of Lost Painting?
I don't even know if it's in there.
Oh, is there not?
Grant,
Because that's my
I-
favorite.
I haven't actually
Castlevania
listened
track.
to Lost Paint. I think I've only listened to a remix of Lost Painting from a different artist because OC Remix was a thing that I engaged with in my youth. Okay, so FF7 Remake wins for Best Sounds.
Nostalgia bait.
Whatever. Okay, so now for the last little bit of today's deliberations, we're going to go into some personal categories to finish off the day. So these are some categories that, you know, maybe didn't make the most sense for all of us to have nominations for, or maybe were just kind of funny for each of us. So I guess I can go first with one of mine. Maybe go around a couple times until we're done. So my first one is going to be the best bestiary of the year. Now, you know, a bestiary is a little thing with descriptions. Well, it started out in video games as just, you know, stats of monsters, really, like, you know, HP, strength, weaknesses, and all that stuff. But over the years, there's been, you know, people start adding little lore entries to each of the individual monsters that you fight in the games. The bestiary is where you view those, and a couple games got pretty cheeky with their bestiaries this year. Vampire Survivors was very close for this one. I don't have it on me, but just go find the description for the Milk Elemental, because they fit in, I think, like 10 or so milk puns in like a short paragraph.
Wow.
It's so good. And like most of the entries in there are extremely witty, but my actual nomination / I don't know if you guys actually had nominations for this category. You did?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so it's going to be an actual category here. But my nomination is World of Final Fantasy. And the reason why I'm picking this one is that they did a really good job of making some really hilarious bestiary entries. And being somebody who has, you know, have played an irresponsible amount of Final Fantasy games, every reference they make I get. So they've been pretty good. I've got 3 here. The first one is for... I should probably explain the game a tiny bit. Is that it's basically a Final Fantasy game with a little bit of Pokemon built into it, where you're capturing monsters to use on your team. And it's really funny where your team is your 2 characters. stacked on top of and underneath the other monsters that you're getting. So, like, right now, one of my characters is sitting on top of a tonberry with a cactuar on his head. It's awesome.
So a totem pole of...
Yeah, a totem pole of Final Fantasy monsters. And
I'm liking the sound of this.
Yeah, and your main characters can swap between... you can have large, medium, and small monsters. Your main characters can either be large or small, or large or medium. So you can swap between those there to kind of make your stacks. And
No matter what way I think about it, whether the cactuar be on top or on the bottom, either way, I don't see that being comfortable.
not necessarily. Well, if it was on the bottom, it would have to be the Gigantar, because you have to go large on the bottom, medium, small, little stack. So my first one is a Mecha Chocobo.
Mecha Chocobo.
A chocobo made entirely of what appears to be machinery. This was the producer's idea and artist approved, which means it's canon right down to the cannons.
Wow.
My next one is a sky dragon. This was one of the monsters that you're only able to get through the DLC. So it's a magnificent dragon as blue as the sky. Well, not the night sky, or when it's cloudy. Correction, it's as blue as the sky on a clear summer day in Besaid. But wait, technically it's also purple. Let's just call it the Paywall Dragon. Oh wait, PR is giving me stern looks. Pretend we didn't say that. That's written in the game. They're having fun with this shit.
That's good.
And the last one, I have to read the one for Cactuar. A Mirage with a truly astounding ability to evade attacks. Its jerky movements may lead you to think our animators are lazy, or that your frame rate has taken a sudden dive, but we assure you there is nothing wrong with us or your hardware. Thank you. So yeah, the fourth wall just doesn't exist in this game. It's fun.
I love it.
It's fantastic.
The fourth wall doesn't exist in the game in general, or just with the bestiary?
In the bestiary especially, but during parts of the game, they make some really stupid jokes that break the fourth wall. And I could keep going, but like there's almost every single one is like slightly lower than that level of wit and humor.
Yeah. So the bestiary, my favorite bestiary of the year, was in Bug Fables, which is Paper Mario. And yeah, it works just like it does in Paper Mario. So you basically tattle on enemies to see their HP, and
it even has that. Oh my god!
Yeah, yeah. So you use tattle, and then you get the ability to see the health bar of enemies that you've tattled. But then you also get a short little description of the enemy that happens in battle at that time, and then it gets put into the logbook, which is the bestiary. That gives you stats, tells you their moves, and it has this little witty entry. And so a few of them that I picked out here. So there's one enemy called the Underling. Aggressive without provocation, this seedling variant creates confusion amongst scholars. Despite evolving in an area without predators and having abundant food, they have developed short tempers and poisonous attacks. Even more ironically, they've become delicious when cooked. Researchers won't stop until they figure out why this creature evolved to make its own life more difficult.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah. A Mattis, and then there's Mattisfy. It's sort of like a weird fly larva thing, if I remember. Anyway, with a face only a mother could love, the Mattisfy grumpily trudges along the swamplands. It's poisonous to eat, thorny to touch, and deafening to hear its wails. One could say it is adapted to its habitat perfectly. The Mender. These automated mechanical helpers are both adorable and extremely capable. Their countless unpaid hours of support ensure the factory runs well while most bees sleep. Sometimes they get a bit wacky, but scientists assure their existentialism is nothing more than a glitch. And then, the last one I'll mention, the Leaf Bug Archer. The Archer faction is the most territorial of the leaf bugs, firing a volley of arrows at any who approach them. Sometimes they get a little too into their job and accidentally fire upon their allies. No one dares complain, lest they be shot again. And yeah, there's a lot of other funny ones. But yeah, those were just some of my favorites. And yeah, the game, it's a Paper Mario RPG, basically, off-brand. So it's very much like the witty humor is a big component of the game, and it comes through in the bestiary just as much as it does in the dialogue.
Nice.
So I've got one too. It's Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Oh boy, Pokedex entries are always great.
Yeah.
Entries. I knew there was going to be Pokedex. There has to be.
Yeah, and the thing I really like about the Pokedex in Legends Arceus, because it's considered the first Pokedex, it's not just catch one, you get the entry. Each Pokemon has different objectives to complete with that Pokemon, be it catch more of it, evolve it, see it use a certain move, and each of these has a point value assigned to them. Once you reach 10, you complete the Pokedex entry. Completing the Pokedex entry actually increases the shiny chance for that Pokemon a bit. And if you do everything and perfect the Dex entry, it increases the shiny odds more. But as usual, you've got some good Pokedex entries. I'm just going to read the Porygon line.
Oh. Porygon's in that game?
Because there are space-time rifts.
Okay, fine.
I think, yeah, it's got tons of Pokemon.
But Porygon specifically, it was coded into existence.
Yeah.
Which is why the Porygon Dex entries are pretty good. It has no discernible heartbeat and does not seem to draw breath, and yet appears to function without issue. I cannot even begin to explain this utterly bizarre anomaly. Porygon 2. A bizarre item caused this Pokemon to evolve. While it now exhibits many new gestures and expressions, its biology remains inscrutable. Porygon Z. A curious item induced this evolution. The Pokemon's offensive capabilities have greatly increased, but the strangeness of its behavior has magnified in equal measure. This worries me.
Yeah, that's very fair.
That's funny. And yeah, actually, it's a good point, though. Like, the Pokédex in Arceus Legends is actually kind of cool in that it's probably the most interactive Pokédex out of any of them.
It can be seen as busy work to keep you occupied further, but I actually, after years of playing Pokemon game where you just catch them and you get the entry, it's refreshing. Just like, you gotta actually work to get the entry, and at the same time increase the shiny odds for that Pokemon.
Well, and it's interesting because it's different for each Pokemon, and it actually like drives you to like kind of like do something in the game. And the whole idea is like, oh yeah, we're researching Pokemon, and it's the first time they're being researched or something.
And get you to use every Pokemon a little bit.
Yeah, it forces, and that's the other thing. It's we were just talking about how the lore in Transistor is cool because it actually makes you experiment with the game more. And I think that you could say the same for the Pokédex in Arceus Legends, because often one of the easiest ways to get more of the Pokédex entry filled out is to just immediately start using that Pokemon. If the Pokemon has see this move several times in battle, or maybe evolve the Pokemon, that often gets you more Pokédex entry points.
To use a strong style or an agile style move.
Or something like that. And so, yeah, like the way the Pokédex functions actually kind of, it encourages the player to experiment with changing their party more, which I think is a good thing in a Pokemon game, because it's way too easy to like just catch the first few Pokemon and then never change your party.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. I'm leaning towards Legends Arceus because that actually, like, as funny as our entries are, like that's actually like a good mechanical implementation of a bestiary.
Yeah, and in fact, I think it's something that you don't see that much, like where the bestiary or lore is actually driving gameplay. It's so rare, even though it's such a good idea, that I'm kind of leaning towards Arceus as well.
Okay, I didn't expect this to be a serious category, but we got a freaking serious answer
I didn't either.
All right.
Okay.
I didn't really think about the Legends Arceus Pokédex at the time, but no, it is actually good.
Yeah, but did you even think of the Pokédex as a bestiary?
Not really.
I sure did.
I mean, it 1000% is.
Yep.
But I mean, everybody just thinks of it as the Pokédex.
Yeah.
It's the Kleenex of bestiaries.
It is, yeah. It's the most branded bestiary.
Most bestiary. That's a different award.
Yeah. Okay. So another one, or I guess, yeah, one of my categories that I'm putting forward is best pixel art.
Ooh.
And yeah, I'm not sure, since it's a surprise category, I'm not sure if you guys have anything, but my nomination for best pixel art is Children of Morta. And I'll just show you guys a couple of like animation things here. But the game is gorgeous. And like, not only does the game have great pixel art, like just looking at stills, but I think that you don't really appreciate how cool the art in the game is unless you see it in motion.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, like it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I've seen you stream some of this. I've seen like Sean play it, or Maximus play it. Like, yeah, I can totally agree with you there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful stuff.
Yeah, it's got gorgeous like hand-drawn pixel art, but then they also have a lot of sort of more modern like pixel-based lighting effects that just it makes it look great. It looks really cool. And it's like a bit of a chunky kind of pixel art, not but I don't know. It's kind of both. Like it's at the same time it's like kind of chunky and blocky, but it also other aspects like say like the terrain in some areas actually has a lot of like gradients and stuff like that, but it like seamlessly blends together. Like they managed to blend modern like gradient pixel art or modern gradient like pixel-based lighting and like chunky blocky sprites and like more detailed almost like painterly sprite work, and they blend it all together beautifully. Like you wouldn't even, nothing looks out of place. It's so nice. Mm-hmm. It's so nice to look at.
Well, this is awkward because my nominee for this category, I can't nominate it right now because we've got coolest looking game coming up on day 2 of our deliberation. So I'm going to save mine for that one.
I'm trying to think if I had anything, but the Steam recently played only shows so much.
Yeah, this is why I made a list of all the games I newly played this year.
Yeah, I did too, but it's on my computer.
Oh.
My notes for this episode I put on here.
Well, this is what happens when you bring in surprise categories.
Yeah. I thought about telling you guys about this one, and it slipped my mind.
Okay, fair enough. That's the thing, like, I've played multiple games that have pixel art, but it feels wrong to nominate, you know, my big winner.
Yeah.
This right now.
Yeah.
Gotta save it.
Yeah.
Gotta save it. So
you just give it to Children of Morta. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Win by default. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Oops, that was a Control V instead of Control V. We don't need to see a 2-factor verification code in our Game of the Year document.
All right, so my first category is the Roll a New Character Award.
Okay.
And my nomination is Disco Elysium.
Ooh, okay.
Because there's so much, because you have 4 stats with the starting points you can spread out, and then you've got just an absolutely massive amount of skills to choose from, and I kind of want to play through it again just like completely differently. Like the end result ends up being the same. You solve the case, but I want to see, because I hear the game can actually be pretty varied in like interactions and stuff based on the character you roll.
Yeah, hearing you hype that up earlier this year, like I bought it like the next time it went on sale immediately. So pretty psyched to try that out eventually. I didn't play any games where you roll a character. The closest I can get is Pokemon, where you roll a party.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know.
I'm trying to think, and like there's definitely a couple roguelikes I played newly this year. You don't really roll different characters, though.
Well, that's the thing. These were meant to, like,
So,
these were meant
yep.
to be personal.
Yeah.
Win by
personal
default.
favorites.
I
So,
know
like,
no one's going to have anything for my next category.
my next
It's
category.
very personal.
God damn it, Huntington. My next category doesn't allow you to have any. So, because My last personal award is the Luigi Presents Second Banana Award for the game that was second in a lot of categories for me, and that's Triangle Strategy. When I was thinking about a lot of the categories here, Triangle Strategy was like so close. For Best Character, Benedict from Triangle Strategy was very close to being my nomination. Best Sounds, the soundtrack in Triangle Strategy I really, really did like. It's one of the few orchestral soundtracks that I really jived with, even outside the game, mostly because of how it uses horns very, very well, which I like. You know, a lot of orchestral soundtracks can either be, you know, the movie score or way too bass heavy kind of thing.
Yeah,
or lean too heavily on the strings, but this one it's got them horns, that brass.
Yeah.
You know. And as well, like it was, I'll say it right now, it's not the game of my year, but I think I was far too harsh to it. I don't know what stick up my ass I had when we recorded that episode, but thinking back on it, like that game was actually a lot better than I think I made it out to be.
I think probably what happened...
I was a bit negative at the time.
I think that it maybe didn't live up to the hype in...
I think I had slightly unrealistic expectations for it, is the problem.
The game got so much hype, though, so I understand. That happens. Sometimes the games get super hyped, and it's hard for them to live up, and you just get, you know, kind of negative.
Yeah, but, like, it does look pretty good, too. You know. I guess, actually, yeah, that game does have pixel art. I could have nominated that. Best pixel art, whatever. And
it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. It was second banana.
Yes, exactly. There we go.
Luigi approved.
All right.
Best fox.
Best fox.
Yeah, Tunic. Yep. Tunic had the best fox for me. Yeah, I liked Tunic a lot, but it doesn't actually fit. It doesn't win any of the other categories. I didn't even nominate it for any other category, and I was like, but I do like it. You know, like I said when I talked about Tunic, I think it's very specifically a game for people that like have played a lot of games in general, and especially lots of Zelda, and possibly some Dark Souls. Although I haven't played Dark Souls, and I didn't really find that to be essential. But it's a fun game if you kind of like that puzzly, somewhat obtuse, classic 2D Zelda-ish game. So
yeah,
and it's got the best fox.
Yeah, I was
fox of the year.
We had best story before we cut it, and I was hoping that if we kept it, you would have picked Tunic for best story. No text, but best story.
Yeah. No text, no dialogue, best story.
Environmental storytelling.
Yeah. Man, I'm disappointed that Pokemon, neither of them had Vulpix in it. At least the ones I played. I don't know if Legends Arceus did, so I can't nominate Vulpix for Best Fox.
I think it does have a Vulpix, actually.
Yeah, I believe it does.
But like Alolan Ninetales is like a top 5 Pokemon for me, so...
You do love your ice types.
Yeah, and Fairy, and it just... That color scheme. Choice.
Wait, is there an Alolan Vulpix too?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say,
cute.
If there was like just regular Vulpix evolves into Alolan Vulpix, which is Ice type, it'd be hilarious.
They did a couple of those, like regular Marowak evolves into Alolan Marowak, which becomes Ghost Fire type. The soul of its mother gets out of the skull.
Oh, that's a very cute Vulpix.
You know, there were.
You know, best.
See, you know what? Yeah. We had a category for best dog because developers, they like putting the dog in the game. They can say that you can pet the dog and everything, but I think we're missing out. I think we need more foxes.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything I've played with a fox in it.
Yeah, there's no Star Fox game this year.
Oh. That's probably for the best. Considering the track record.
All right, so my second personal category is the Sold Me on VR award. And that was, I finally got to play Beat Saber, and it sold me.
Yep. If there's any game that will sell you on VR, it's Beat Saber.
Yeah, I've looked and I've stared at product pages and I've thought, should I buy, Quest 2 or whatever, just for Beat Saber? Because that's the only thing I actually want to play on it.
Yeah, like Beat Saber is great, and also, if you're willing to dabble with third-party, if you're willing to dabble in third-party modded downloads from the internet of sketchy provenance, then you can actually get, DIY Beat Saber songs for basically any song that anyone's willing to make the track for. And there's a lot of stuff out there.
If I can get Oculus Link going pretty well, I'm probably, at some point on a sale, going to buy Beat Saber on Steam, just for more easily using modded tracks.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Without having to mod the headset to do so.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the other things I have to do. I need to uninstall the mods so that I can update Beat Saber, and then reinstall the mods, because April got some DLC, and you can only install the DLC after uninstalling all the mods, and then oh my god.
Yep.
Oh.
Third-party mod tools.
But Beat Saber rules.
Beat Saber does rule.
It's real fun.
I mean, I've played a few games in VR, but probably 90% of my time in VR has been Beat Saber.
It's a good workout, too.
Yeah.
So far, I'd have to say my biggest accomplishment is that League of Legends K-pop
KDA.
song on hard at 8% speed increase.
Oh, God.
All right, well, that is going to wrap up day one of our Game of our Year nominees and awards and all that stuff. So let's just kind of go through a little bit, just in case you forgot. So for most game, we had nominees of Vampire Survivors and Elden Ring, with Dwarf Fortress taking the crown, deservedly so. Best character.
Deservedly. We haven't played the new version yet.
I played half an hour.
See,
It's so funny.
The one of us that hasn't spent, hundreds of hours in Dwarf Fortress played it this last year.
There
It
we
worked
go.
out. We're not hacks. These characters are also not hacks, because as best character, we had Dr. Hakim from It Takes Two, Larry from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and the winner Herlock Sholmes from The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. The best dog, our nominees were Riker from Children of Morta, Cosmo from Guardians of the Galaxy, and the winner was Doxbun from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Best sounds, we had the Caligula Effect 2, 40K Mechanicus, and the winner being Final Fantasy VII Remake. And we just did a bunch of personal categories I'm not going to go over because there's a lot of them, and you just heard them. So look forward to the next installment, where we're going to go over our most anticipated games of next year. This year. Whatever. The coolest looking game, the Lo-Fi Award for games to chill and relax to, the best fighting game, the biggest bummer, and finally, the game of our year. Stay tuned.
All right, how many times did I say Paper Mario?
Well, that one makes 5, I think.